For Casserole Night was a success. Thank you so much for everybody that participated in Casserole Night. We had some suggestions for the next one. I think in 2 weeks we're going to do another one. I'll have a sign-up sheet this weekend, and so we'll do another midweek meal at 6 o'clock in 2 weeks. I think that's the first Wednesday in April, so know about that. On the 4th, we got our next Ladies' Aid meeting at 2 p.m. right here at the church, talking about projects and things that need to be done and how the ladies can get involved. Any ladies are welcome to come, 2 p.m. on the 4th of April. And then, just so you know, Resurrection Sunday, Easter Sunday is on the 5th. Looking forward to that. We are having our pancake breakfast at 10 a.m. on Easter Sunday morning. Sign up if you want to come to that so we know how many to prepare for. But it's just going to be a light breakfast, nothing fancy. Just a few things, some pancakes and a little bit of sausage and fruit. Nobody needs to bring anything. We're just going to stick with that and come for some fellowship. There'll be some coffee and juice. If you don't want to eat pancakes, you can just hang out. But that's at 10 a.m. on Resurrection Sunday. Sign up if you would like to come to that. And with Easter coming up, think about if you can find somebody to invite to church. If somebody's looking for a church, they're more than welcome here. We're looking forward to packing people in here like we did last year. And so that will be great. And again, we're going to try to send these flyers out. If you want to sponsor a route, we're asking people to sponsor a route. Postage is needed. And you can find our sign-up sheet in the fellowship hall on the table over there. And you can choose a route if you'd like to sponsor it. And we're sending out 5,000. I think we have about 2,000 accounted for already. So we're making good headway there. We still got a couple weeks. So we praise the Lord for that. All right, we're in Proverbs 22. Let's focus in on some wisdom. I think we need some. We always do. James reminds us, if any man lacks wisdom, hey, you need to ask of God because he gives to all men liberally. God is divvying out wisdom all the time. The question is, are your hands open to receive it? We're looking here tonight. Our point of authority is in verse 18, and we're also going to jump down, 16 through 20. Let me do a little cleanup here on verse number 16. I don't know if you know this, but there's kind of a little bit of a passage that we're going to focus in mainly tonight. And that's in verse 17 through 21. But I want to deal with 16 because it's kind of a standalone verse, and then we'll get into the big one. So let's look at 16. And again, when you read these Proverbs, I always encourage myself and encourage others to kind of give it a bird's eye view. What is this proverb trying to teach me? What's it about? What's it trying to say? And sometimes we read Proverbs and we can't just plow through them, but these things are good enough to soak on and understand and try to figure out. So we're thinking, what's this proverb about? Verse 16, he that oppresseth the poor to increase his riches, and he that giveth to the rich shall surely come to want. What's this talking about? What is this trying to get across? Well, this is one of these, matter-of-fact proverbs. One of these things that we can just kind of put in our back pocket to know when we know. And this proverb is teaching, hey, watch out for those rich people. Kind of is. Hey, watch out for those rich people. Because sometimes they can be a little tricky, all right? Watch out for poor people too. Hey, just watch out for everybody, okay? Watch out for everybody, but watch out for those rich people, okay? Sometimes rich people are fine and normal and great and happy and easy to get along with, and you wouldn't know they were rich if you didn't know they were rich. I've met some rich people that just dress like normal people, act like normal people. You wouldn't know that they're a millionaire, but they're a millionaire. Sometimes rich people can have negative traits just like anybody can. Now, we're not going to dive too much into this because next week in verse 22 and 23 we're going to talk a little bit about it. But let me say this. At best, a rich person can be opportunistic with the way that they view life. If I can use that word, opportunistic. And I kind of use it like this. We're just being opportunistic. And at worst, they can be, as this verse teaches, oppressive. Sometimes rich people can be in the business of thinking that everybody else is for their betterment. They are stones for them to walk on to get to the place they're trying to get. Be weary of that. Be aware of that. Sometimes, at best, they can be opportunistic. At worst, they can be oppressive. As this verse says, he that oppresseth the poor to increase in riches, and he that giveth to the rich shall surely come to want. Now, here's what this is trying to get across. God watches everybody. And God sees if there are rich people taking advantage of poor people. And God sees if there are people that are afflicting those that are suffering. God is watching that. Can I show you a proverb real quick? Turn back to 14, Proverbs 14. And this is just a good thing to understand, because sometimes we can view people as less than human. Sometimes we dehumanize people. And what do I mean by that? Sometimes we can view people as tools. Hey, you're not a person. You're somebody to get accomplished what I need accomplished. Be careful of that. Okay? People are made in the image of God. We are not tools to be used and thrown away. We got to be careful of this. I always try to be careful of this. Don't just call somebody only when you need something. Don't just be about the habit of saying, hey, I know you haven't heard from me in 12 years. Hope you're doing good. By the way, can I have this, or the other? Be careful of that. We can fall into these traps, and especially if people are hurting and we use them. Verse 31 of chapter 14, he that oppresseth the poor reproacheth his maker, but he that honoreth him hath mercy on the poor. Think about the children of Israel. Remember when they were in Egypt and they were poor, they became slaves? And God sets this bush on fire one day and gets the attention of the man Moses, who is shepherding on the backside of the desert at Mount Sinai. You know that, right? That the burning bush was at Mount Sinai. You know that. The same bush he'd bring the people back to. All right? He gets them there and he says, hey, I'm a burning bush, but here in a couple chapters, here in a couple years, I'm going to be a burning mountain. Okay? God goes from a burning bush to a burning mountain in Exodus. But you know why God, one of the main reasons of why God sent Moses back to Egypt to get the children of Israel? Because he heard the cry of their oppression. He heard them crying out for mercy because the Egyptians were treating them so badly. God hears the cries of people when they are being pressed upon and used as tools. And God's teaching us, don't be in the business of oppressing anybody, because you're going to come in want. I'm going to get a hold of you. Be careful. How did God deal with the Egyptians? How did it go for the Egyptians? Not good. All right? Not good at all. The superpower became less than super real quick. So be careful about that. Don't use your gifts, don't use your advantages to manipulate people or to violate people. Use what God has given you to edify and to encourage. All right, now let's get into the main one. That was cleanup duty, all right? That one was for free. Let's get into the main thing. Here in verse 17 through 22, we see one thought. And I want to read the thing, read the thought as a whole, and come back and make a couple observations on it. Proverbs 22, verse 17. We're thinking, what is this about? It says here, bow down thine ear, and hear the words of the wise, and apply thine heart unto my knowledge. For it is a pleasant thing, if thou keep them within thee. They shall withal be fitted in thy lips, that thy trust may be in the Lord. I have made known to thee this day, even to thee. Have I not written to thee excellent things and counsels and knowledge, that I might make thee know the certainty of the words of truth, that thou mightest answer the words of truth to them that send it unto thee? So here we have a complete thought in verse 17 through 21. What is he trying to get across? What is he trying to say? All right? A couple things about here. What is the overall theme of this passage? And the overall theme is this. I'll save you from the torture of sitting there and thinking. It's a call to wisdom. God is calling us to wisdom. That's what this book is about, is it not? What's Proverbs about? It's about wisdom. It is about how to obtain a spiritual skillfulness in order to navigate your way through the path of life. The answer to practically every problem you face in this physical world, one could say, is wisdom. And that's what Solomon is calling his son to, that he is writing, which is transcending down. You need wisdom. You just don't need worldly wisdom. You need God's wisdom to help you, and this is what it's about. It's a call to wisdom, to know the wisdom that's contained in this book. This book is a book of wisdom. It is packaged in principle form, like we have here in Proverbs. It is packaged in story form, like many of the books that you come across. It's even packed in poetry form, like in the book of Psalms. This wisdom is packaged in several different ways. And God is using these different versions, these different avenues to teach us one thing, that we can't make it without His wisdom. He is offering it to us all the time. All right? He's like the ice cream man driving around, but this ice cream doesn't cost anything. It's free. All you got to do is ask for it. Wouldn't that be nice if the ice cream man came by and you heard that sound and you went out there and he said, "Hey, everybody, I'm just being generous. I got free ice cream for everybody." Oh, man, he'd be very popular. Very popular. No matter how creepy that guy was, all right, in his creepy van. All right, he'd be very popular. But nonetheless, it's not free. God's wisdom is free. And God drives around with a little jingling van. Hey, hey, free wisdom. Anybody want it? He's calling us to it. Every time you do something foolish, He's calling you to wisdom. Every time you see something foolish done in the news, He's calling you to wisdom. Every time you go through a situation and it takes you twice as long as it should, He's calling us to wisdom. The question is, are we going to answer the call? Now, here I have a few things to talk about. Each verse kind of has a little bit of an idea, a train of thought, a progression. The first verse, in verse number 17, teaches us we need to absorb wisdom. Absorb it. Look at verse 17. He gives you 3 phases here in this absorption process. He wants you to be a little wisdom sponge. All right? I'm the dish doer at the house. I do the dishes because I love it. All right? I love doing it. I don't know why. I guess I was just programmed special. All right? You can hire me if you want, if that brings any sort of need to your mind, but I love doing dishes. I got my scowling pad. I got my little Mr. Clean, wipe it clean, where was that thing a million years ago pad? And I got all sorts of tools. If I need to get the steel wool out, I'll get the steel wool. But you get that normal sponge out that's got the little bit of the rough end and the soft end. I don't know what it's called. It's just a spongy thingy. And you pick that thing up if you haven't done the dishes in a while and it's dry as a bone. And a little bit of water and it starts to absorb and now you have something pliable. We become like that. We become stiff and hardened and we need wisdom to soften us up. Whenever you are unpliable and whenever you are rough and feel gruff, it's a need for wisdom to absorb into your life. How do I get it? You got to absorb it. How do I do it? Look what it says. Bow down thine ear. Hear the words of the wise. Apply thine heart unto knowledge. The word bow down is a very physical word. It means to stretch yourself upon. Okay? Like the woman with the issue of blood, stretching herself through the crowd just to touch the hem of his garment. Sort of desperation there. Bow down, we kind of think it means bow down, like get down on your knee, but it literally means to stretch yourself. Like you're trying to reach for something that while you're sitting on the couch and you really don't want to get up. You know, I don't want to get up. I just reach for it. I know the remote's all the way over there. I'm going to stretch myself without having to get up. This is the idea. I'm going to exert myself to get wisdom. A lot of us don't want to do that. We want to exert ourselves for certain things. But wisdom, do I want to exert myself? That's the question. Bow down means to be open to apply yourself to wisdom. Are you open to applying yourself? Then we hear the next word, which is hear. So you got to stretch yourself out. I'm reaching for it. And then you got to hear the words of the wise, which hearing is this idea of listening with the intent to obey. It's the Hebrew word shema, which is used so many times, which just doesn't mean hear. It means hear like you're ready to do. All right? It's like everybody's gathered around. They're trying to get their jobs for the day. All right? Let's say mom's in the kitchen. She's got everybody, and we're getting ready to have company, and we got everybody gathered around. Everybody's listening with the intent to do. That's kind of what God wants us to do when it comes to His Word. I'm listening, not just listening for information, I'm listening for application. So you got to bow down your ear. You got to stretch yourself out. You got to be open to applying yourself to wisdom. You have to hear. You have to then apply yourself to wisdom. And then lastly, we have this phrase, apply thine heart, which is the application, obviously. It means to consider, to mark, to appoint. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm imagining myself getting it. So absorbing. Turn over to Proverbs chapter 4 for a second. Proverbs chapter 4. Proverbs chapter 4. I don't know if you know this, but every book of the Bible, out of the 66, while they teach many things, while the books of the Bible teach many things, all of them have a main thought, a main idea, a main purpose that they're trying to get across. So every book has a key verse. What's the key verse for Proverbs? Well, there's a couple of them that people point to, usually Proverbs chapter 1. But when I think of the key of Proverbs, I think you have to throw in Proverbs chapter 4, verses 1 through 9. Read it with me. It says, "Hear, ye children, the instruction of the Father, and attend to know understanding. For I give you good doctrine or teaching. Forsake ye not my law. For I was my father's son, tender and only beloved in the sight of my mother. He taught me also, and said unto me, Let thine heart retain my words. Keep my commandment and live." And then here we get to it. What is the whole purpose of this book? Verse 5, get wisdom. Get understanding. Forget it not. Neither decline from the words of my mouth. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. Now here we see Solomon referring to wisdom as a she. This is what we refer to as the personification of wisdom. And he's using that as a contrast because Solomon talks about two types of women in this book, and it's a going theme. And this is the woman that every son should follow. Okay, wisdom is not feminine. Wisdom is not female. He's using it in context with talking to his son, but he is personifying it, all right? So it doesn't mean that it's only considered feminine. It can be considered masculine as well. Verse 7, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. Exalt her, and she shall promote thee. She shall bring thee to honor. When thou dost embrace her, she shall give to thine head an ornament of grace, a crown of glory, and she shall deliver to thee. So the main thing that Solomon is trying to get across to his son is you need wisdom. And it just doesn't fall upon you. You need to apply yourself to get it. You need to absorb it. You need to go out there and seek after it. It's just not something that hits you by osmosis, all right? It's not like I'm not little baby Einstein where you just play some Mozart while I'm in the womb and I'm going to come out a genius. That may or may not work, but that's not how this works. There needs to be a literal decision. I need wisdom. I'm going to get it. Just like I need food, I'm going to get it. I need water, I'm going to get it, and I'm going to partake in it. So mark it down every day. You need to be about this job, this occupation of where's the wisdom and how do I get it. All right? And don't think it's just going to fall in your mouth, okay? Or fall in your heart. You know, it would be nice if I just laid on the couch and Jack just came and fed me and I didn't have to get up. I just opened my mouth and Jack drops gummy bears in my mouth. That would be nice. But that's not how it works. I have to go get 99.9% of the food and put it in my own mouth. Nobody's feeding me. I got to go get it. So, how do we think anything should be different when it comes to wisdom? Absorb it. Number 2, verse 18. Not only do we need to absorb wisdom, but we need to abide in wisdom. Look at verse 18. And again, this is a train of thought. Bow down thine ear. Hear the words of the wise. Apply thy heart unto my knowledge. For it is a pleasant thing if thou keep them within thee. Keep what within thee? The wisdom, the knowledge. They shall withal be fitted in thy lips. Couple things here. The word pleasant means delightful. There's nothing more delightful than wisdom. And there's nothing more anti-delightful than foolishness. If we want to find something that is anti-delightful or not pleasant or not sweet or not good, do something foolish. But if you want things to feel well, to taste well, to go well, seek after wisdom. And you got to keep it. You got to keep it within thee. Hold the wisdom in. And that is hard to do because everybody is trying to draw the foolishness out of us. People are driving crazy. People are talking crazy. People are doing crazy. And we want to set down the wisdom and pick up some foolishness and act like them because we think that's the only thing that's going to get them. You got to keep it within you. You got to guard it. You got to protect it. Okay? If I told you that tonight somebody's going to break in your house and try to steal your most valued possessions, you would be staying up all night and guarding your house, would you not? If I said, I got a tip. I heard some guys over at the Wally World and they were talking about your house. They said, this address tonight, 3 o'clock in the morning, we're busting in. We're going to get underneath that mattress and take all the money they got, 50 cents, 75 cents, how much is it? We're going to bust in their house tonight, and they were talking about you. We'd be ready. We'd be vigilant. We'd be setting traps. We'd be sitting up. We would be watching the windows. We would be camouflaged. We would be on the roof waiting to pounce when the bad guys come because they were going to try to take something that was ours. But every one of us know that there's a devil, and he's coming at us every single day. And yet we're sleeping spiritually. We're not sitting up. We're not vigilant. We're not sober. He's trying to take the wisdom. We know he's coming. We know he's going to do it. We know this battle we've been here where we've let the wisdom slip through our fingers. We knew what to do, and we did the opposite thing. We knew it was coming, and yet, you got to keep it in. You got to guard your heart, to guard the wisdom, to keep it in. Or it's just going to seep out. Yesterday's wisdom is sinking sand. You have to get it today. It's like manna. Wisdom is like manna. It's only good for the moment that you have it, and then you got to go get it again. Yesterday's manna cannot feed you today. Yesterday's wisdom cannot feed you today. We have to go and abide in it. Absorb and abide. Then we come to verse 19 and we see anchor yourself in wisdom. I need to absorb, I need to abide, and I need to anchor. Notice verse 19. That thy trust may be in the Lord, I have made known to thee this day, even to thee. So he's saying, go after it, absorb it, bow down here. That way it's in your mouth. That's why you are speaking it. That your trust may be in the Lord, that I have made known to thee this day, even to thee. So here's the key. Here's the key. This trust in the Lord part is the key. It's the anchor. Wisdom is not a set of principles. Wisdom is a person. And I know we've talked about being personified as a woman, but Jesus is our wisdom. He is the wisdom. Okay? It's trusting in the Lord. That is the wisdom. That's the whole thing. It's not like a strategic set of formulas that bring across the right thing to make it happen. And sometimes there are principles that we do apply, but they're Him. They are Him. He is the wisdom. And sometimes we can say, well, I can't memorize the book of Proverbs and all this wisdom is too much. I can't keep it all in my head. It's too much. You don't have to memorize the book of Proverbs. You just have to hold on to Jesus and trust in the Lord. You have to anchor your soul in this walk with Jesus, and He's going to show you what to do when you need to do it. That's a trust thing. Sometimes some of us have to know every single detail of what needs to be done, and we're not going to know every single detail. Sometimes we're going to take our foot and we're going to extend it and step out into a place where we do not see the landing place for. We're just going to have to step out and trust that there is something solid to land on. That's part of this Christian walk. And we need to be able to do that, and that is trusting in the Lord. You know, sometimes these principles in this book don't make sense. There's a lot of people that God told to do a lot of things that didn't make sense. We've talked about them before. Joshua, march around Jericho 7 times and then blow your trumpet and shout. That don't make sense. But that's how God did it. Gideon with his 300 men. That doesn't make sense. But that's how God did it. There's a lot of things that God calls us to do that doesn't make sense. And it's not about the thing that you're doing as much as who are you trusting in. It wasn't the lamps, and it wasn't the shofar, and it wasn't the torches that saved Gideon. It was the Lord. Trust in Him. And those 3 items that we so fondly think about and tell our kids about in junior church and Sunday school, those are just tools to show you that God can do whatever He wants whenever He wants to do it when you trust in Him. God can use anything if you're trusting in Him. And that's why verse 19 is so important. This is not about principles. This is about a person. And lastly, verse 20, we're done. Practically. I say that, but, we're not. Verse 20, have I not written to thee excellent things and counsels and knowledge, that I may make known to thee the certainty of the words of truth, that thou mightest answer the words of truth to them that send unto thee. Verse 20 and 21 are one sentence, and that sentence is in the form of a question. One question. And what's he asking in this question? He's asked us to absorb wisdom, abide in wisdom, anchor yourself in wisdom, and then assess. He's asking you, hey, does it work or not? Try it. See. Assess. Is this good enough? Does this really work? Is this all just fairy tales and happy thoughts to just, blind us of our own ignorance? What is this? Is this Christianity actually something that works, or is it all just a bunch of stuff to make simple people feel good? I've been listening to a lot of skeptics lately on YouTube. Probably not good. But I've been listening to some atheistic arguments lately as people have been grilling over the things of the faith that bring a lot of questions, the suffering question, yada, yada, yada. I heard it a million times. Keep coming back to the same thing. But the main thing I come to is check it out for yourself. Don't just say it doesn't work. Have you actually tried? I have a personal preference when it comes to saying things or endorsing things or not endorsing things. My personal preference is don't knock it if you haven't tried it. And oftentimes that's what I say when people make fun of taco casita. My beloved taco casita. It's either you like it or you love it when it comes to taco casita. You love it or you hate it. And some people look at that building there on Wabash and they see the bullet holes in the glass and they see, the people that are there. It really is a magic place, Taco Casita. It's the place where cops and robbers come together for a good time. Because you'll see about 6 or 7 cop cars there from time to time. And it's not that they're like breaking up the joint. The cops love it there. And then you see like some of the scariest people in your life in there, and they're all slapping high fives because they're all eating tacos together. It's where cops and robbers come together. They put down the guns, they put down their animosity, and they come together and they share tacos. But some people think, Taco Casita's gross. And I say, well, have you tried it? Well, no. Well, don't knock it till you try it. If you've tried it, then you can knock it. And some people, when it comes to the Word of God. Some people, when it comes to the way of God, they're like, oh, it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Well, have you actually read the book? Have you actually spent 5 minutes? Or are you just echoing what somebody else says? Are you just somebody else's shoulder parrot that is just mocking and mimicking what somebody else has said? Does trusting God work or not? Does He save or does He not? Are His promises true or not? And I like what David said, Solomon's dad. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man that trusteth in Him. I love that. Oh, taste and see. Is God good or not? Try Him out. Taste and see if the Lord is good. Get in there and read it. Get in and study it. Get in there and see what it does to your heart. Try it. What's it going to do? What's it going to hurt? It's amazing how many people have book reviews for any book. You can think of a book that nobody's ever heard of. You can find a book review about it on YouTube, but you never see a secular person making a book review about the Bible. Never. You never. People have these book rankings on YouTube. Oh, this is my top 10 books of my life, always, and never is the Bible in there. Never does anybody touch it. Random. Maybe one time I've seen it. Maybe one time. I think people don't read it. I don't think people don't know. I think they're afraid of it. I think they're scared. Could it be that the best kept secret to the world is right there in front of us this whole time? Could it be that the number one bestseller of all time truly ought be the number one bestseller of all time? Could it be that when God says, ask for wisdom and I'll help you, I'll show you, He really will? I think all of us here would agree. Then let's be little sponges every single day. Father, thank You for wisdom. Thank You for what it does in our lives. Thank You that You are our wisdom. You give us the spirit of wisdom and truth. And I pray, Lord, that You would, although all of us would agree with everything that's been said here, I think all of us would agree with 99.9% of the things that have been said here. That it still doesn't mean we're going to seek after it. So give us that desire. Give us that hunger. And may we be better for it.